Welcome back to another video, guys. My name is Chief Pat, and today, bringing you guys the next episode of my Journey to Legend series. So today, we're going to go ahead and resume our trophy push. Took a little bit of a break over the holidays. Hope you guys had a good one as well. But we're actually attacking our first Titan player ever, and let's go ahead and check out how this one turns out. So keep in mind, in this video, the witches have been nerfed, and by witches, I mean skeletons. They will die to the level 8 and level 9 wizard tower in one shot. Do notice that epic eternal tome that I had right there, though. I ended up saving all of my troops from that giant bomb, which was pretty awesome. And overall, this base design right here is pretty susceptible to witches, so this is a perfect test to check out those new skeletons in action. Again, about maybe 10 days ago, they changed the skeletons to where they're going to take a little bit less or a little bit more damage from those wizard towers. Due to getting a slight HP decrease, and that's going to be whether it's in a skeleton trap or level 2 skeletons from the witches or whatever. So pretty much, let's go ahead and check out how they fare against this base, but so far so good. And overall, that play on the giant bomb has actually saved me a lot of troops. So I still have a bunch of my wizards, I still have a bunch of my witches in the back, I still have my queen, and even though I did have to pop her ability, she is protected by a fair amount of troops, and my golems are actually busy with the archer tower on the right hand side. So the queen's going to keep making her way through. Looks like the golem's going to walk in front and will be split into a golemite in just a second, but I still have plenty of troops left, and at this point I thought I was going to 3-star the very first Titan player that I had ever found, even though the witches did get that nerf that I talked about earlier. But let's go ahead and take a look what happens from here on out. So a cannon ended up, or a pair of cannons ended up targeting my archer queen, which is going to take her out. And towards the end of this raid, I'm wondering where the heck all my troops went. But if you look at the right, I have one of my witches with all the skeletons over there. And if you look at the left, two witches with a bunch of skeletons over there. So that means I only have one witch, a wizard, and a golemite. But the thing is that witch is barely spawning any skeletons because all of the skeletons were stuck on that wall. And same thing right here, those witches couldn't spawn any more skeletons because of all the skeletons that were trapped behind the wall, and that's actually going to end up costing me that 3-star. And honestly, I didn't really see that one coming. I almost put my iPad down right there because I thought that one was going to be a pretty simple 3-star, but unfortunately, due to some of these skeleton AI and where those skeletons were heading, I only ended up getting 2 stars, but that was still good for 29 trophies against this guy's base. So really successful attack right there. Could have made it a little bit better by getting that 3rd star, but let's go ahead and check out our next Titan player, which is going to be Taif of the BD Warriors. All right, so let's go and attack from the top right-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and start dropping some of my troops, and I think this raid will actually show you guys what it looks like with these new skeletons. So normally with a base like this, you guys have seen me attack these bases during my Journey to Legend series, and I've actually ended up 3-starring pretty much almost all of them because they're so terrible against this army composition. But as you can see, I'm making my way through. I've dropped my jump spells. I'm using the same exact strategy that I've been using. A fair amount of troops have actually been dying, and they're not really putting up as much as a fight as they used to. This guy does have the level 8 wizard tower, so that means that they're going to have a lot more success against my troops. And as my guys make their way into the center, they've sort of been split off into halves. And the normal domination that I've had with this army composition definitely isn't showing up in this raid, as we're only at 36%, and a lot of my troops have already gone down. I do have a fair amount of troops in the center. They're going to keep shooting at that town hall. Looks like my Grand Warden's going to shoot that town hall as well and be able to get us that 1st star, but that one was definitely closer than I expected. And now we're at 49%, wrapping up at 50%, and that's going to get us the 2nd star for the raid. But for the first time I can remember in a while, this was actually not even close to a 3-star raid. So at this point, I knew I didn't really have too much time left. I didn't want to waste any of the HP of my heroes that I didn't have to waste. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my queen's ability in a second, wrap up this raid right here, take my 2 stars, and leave this guy alone. So only a 2-star raid right there. I still ended up stealing 25 trophies, which was pretty nice. And I'm sure that guy was a little bit mad about that, but still things were looking up. And let's actually go ahead and check out a defense I had, because honestly, I was having a lot of successes with defending my base. So I changed my base design around through the series, as you guys know, and things have actually been going pretty well for me. Honestly, at one point I won 5 out of my last 6 defenses, which is pretty uncommon for me, especially because a lot of the times I just had a golem in the clan castle because I forgot to request defensive troops after attacking. And let's go ahead and check out this attack right here, where this guy ended up using mass dragons. And one thing that the eagle artillery actually is pretty decent against is mass dragons, especially if they all get clumped up together. You can see it raining down on that first one right there. If it can hit multiple targets at once, it actually works out pretty well, and it's going to go ahead and start targeting this one right here. All right, so unfortunately, a couple of the dragons moved away, so this one's really only going to be getting solo shot at, but still, Inferno Tower's doing work right now. Free Spell's only going to cover one of those Inferno Towers, and as his troops make their way to the center of my base, this one isn't even going to be close to 2 stars with just the dragons, so he's going to have to focus on the king and queen to wrap it up for the rest of this raid. All right, so Queen's going to shoot at that dragon. Looks like she's going to do way more work than the Eagle artillery. And looking at where he could drop his troops, he could either 1, try to go for the town hall, or 2, go for the bottom, which I think would be a better idea because I still have both my Inferno Towers and my heroes. So he's going to go ahead and drop his troops on the bottom right, starting at 29%. And you're actually going to see these heroes do a pretty good job. So he's at 35% right now. Queen's shooting down that gold mine. King's making his way around the base pretty effectively and not getting stuck on a wall or anything right now. So at 38%, things looking like he's going to take a little bit more damage. 43%. I couldn't believe he was getting this many percentage points just using these troops. 45%, and it looks like as he's trying to shoot down these last couple of buildings, 46% will be his final total, getting 17% alone from the heroes, which wasn't enough to win the raid. So 18 trophies to me on defense, always nice to see that number, especially because this guy probably would have won a lot of trophies if he ended up beating me. But yeah, taking a look at where I'm at right now, 4,913 trophies. Again, this is my personal record, and we're only about 87 away from Legend League. So honestly, the push has been pretty fun. I've actually climbed a lot faster than I thought. I took a big holiday break, as you guys might have noticed with the videos, and I still managed to climb up pretty fast. I've been finding a good amount of bases, but I have heard on the forums and a couple of other places from my clanmates and other people that the clouds get really bad around the 4,900 to 5,000 mark. So we'll see how fast I can get up to Legend League, but until the next video, we'll just have to see what happens. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.